So, hello, fellow finders. On this sunny Sunday, Rike and Erik are, I think, known to a number of people in the community around Perfectly Okay and 45 Days. And Rike and I, we are in the same city today, I guess, because you are living in Munich and I am visiting Munich right now. Are you in Munich right now?
Yes, I am. Welcome to Munich.
Yes.
Welcome to Munich. I'm at home on the roof garden and enjoying the beautiful bird songs. Where are you?
I'm also on a roof garden in a beautiful house of a friend of mine, where I'm allowed to stay for a few days. So the
Wonderful.
beautiful background today is not a painting, but it's real nature.
Exactly, exactly.
For some people, maybe have heard that in a Q&A session, you work as a paintings conservator.
Conservator. Yeah, right. And sometimes I use one of our beautiful paintings as the Zoom background. Yeah, I work as a paintings conservator in a fantastic museum here in Munich in the Alte Pinakothek, and I take care of old master paintings.
Yeah, yeah, which was founded and built by Ludwig, King Louis the First of Bavaria, and I have visited the old Pinakothek recently. Very beautiful there. So Erik, Unger, you are more coming from a technical background, is that right? Are you?
Yeah, I'm a software developer, completely in my mind, or was completely in my mind for most of my life.
So and now that you have reached very far locations, how has that affected your technical thinking?
Well, not at all. So for me, yeah, there always has been like this left side, right side brain of the brain going on, and also an interesting insight for myself. So I'm very empathic, and that means that I am not perceiving myself that much. I'm more like out in the world and perceiving like everything as being in the world. And so I have been kind of non-dual from like little childhood on. And that might have been one of the reasons why it was easy for me to get to the more like non-dual states. And yeah, and just realized that I always had this logically thinking minds substituting that kind of felt ego minds that many other people have. So for me, there always has been this logical mind going on that I thought was the self, but it might be that others are perceiving the self in a slightly different way. And so yeah, I also had this question mark about my awakening. So others are reporting, oh, this self is falling away and everything. And for me, there always constantly has been this logically thinking self that's just talking right here now, that has agency, where I can decide to hello, wave at you and all those things. And I took that for the same kind of felt self or ego that other had. And I was always wondering, why isn't that falling away? And yeah, I just recently realized that I might have a slightly different configuration. I mean, everyone is different, and there are like different kinds of configurations and different brain parts and functions that are like having functional yeah, roles in like yeah, being functional in the world. And different people might substitute different functions with different, let's say, brain regions or internal representations.
Mm-hmm. So Rike, I wondered, I mean, in your profession, right? I mean, you have to do with beauty a lot. I mean, beautiful paintings, and you work with them. I mean, you are in a very intimate relationship with them, much more intimate than probably anybody, because you are allowed to touch them and really inspect them closely and analyze them in a, and so on. How has this affected, do you think, your awakening, or has your awakening somehow, I don't know, transformed or intensified your connection to these paintings?
Yeah, there are a couple points I can relate to. So when I chose what to do for my professional life, that was when I was 19, I think. I on purpose I chose something where I could go in retreat. I didn't want to have any social job. That terrified me, working with many people, because I'm rather drawn inside, and so conserving and restoring paintings seemed, in that aspect, seemed like a perfect fit. And when I work on paintings, either when I examine them or when I treat them, it's a very contemplative time. Sometimes I listen to music, sometimes it's really just silence. It's just the painting and I, and I can go deep into whatever I do. It sometimes is happening on a square millimeter for some minutes, so it's very focused. And yeah, I really love that part of my job. And what I didn't consider when I started doing that, that when working in a museum, it's a completely different setting, because of course I have many colleagues, and that's but that's really a feature I like a lot, and I honor the colleagues I have, and I love the exchange between the different professions. And sometimes, of course, we have different opinions and different goals in mind, but after all, it's we all work for the same museum and for the same big idea. So it has a contemplative side to it, and recently, like 2 years ago, I started a different path, building up a different career, working with people, because what I experienced myself with this fundamental well-being, it made such a big difference in my life, how I experience my life, how I show up in life, how I presence myself. So I started working as a mentor and as a coach. And it's so funny because in that realm, people talk about restoring energy. And that's exactly what I do. I now not only restore paintings, but now I also restore energy. And I love that combination. I think we have lost Florian.
Yeah. See if it joins again.
Yeah.
Also, kann es dann eh schneiden.
He's coming back again. Welcome back, Florian.
Welcome back.
I'm sorry, I somehow. Oh, now we have lost. No, yeah, we are also. I got a phone call in because I'm doing this over my mobile phone, and somehow I got kicked out of this meeting now. But the recording is still going. I hope
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's
it
still
is.
running.
Okay, that's good.
And
Okay,
you might or might not edit this after that.
No, I will not edit this because I'm not good at doing things like this.
Okay, so you just missed a very tiny bit, but maybe a very important bit. I drew the comparison between restoring paintings and restoring energy, which I added to my profession, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I already thought when you described how you are really zooming into painting like on a very tiny part of it, because you have to work on it or repair it or clean it or whatever you might do. I thought it's almost like sinking into the painting.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's a really good thing. So zooming in and also zooming out is part of both work areas. Zooming out, when I restore paintings, we generally do a lot of research before we start touching the painting at all. And I do that for the paint technology side. So I do a lot of literature research, but also study the painting in depth with my microscope. And also we use techniques like X-ray and infrared. And we have a very advanced technique recently called macro XRF, that is Röntgen. What's the okay, just take it. It's an amazing technique where you can map all the different elements that that are inside the material, and we can draw conclusions when we find, for example, lead. We can draw the conclusion, oh, the painter used lead white, and so on. So, and together with my research and also the research of art historians, it's a much zooming out. So we try to get the context where this painting was created, by
Yeah.
whom, in what time, in what country, in what surrounding, what influenced the painter, and so on. Yeah, so that's zooming in and zooming out.
And every human is also a piece of art, right?
Sorry?
Every human is also a piece of art, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's also an interesting thing. There have been um, very intense discussions lately with the thinking in, but also deepening into fundamental well-being. And for me, it's so interesting because, yeah, we're all in this together. It's all one, and still there's so much individual experience. And I love taking that into our experience, how differently um, we are. And Erik, you also mentioned already some regular experiences, but also some exceptions to everything. And I think that's a good way to put it, and to remember.
And I find it so fascinating, the kind of group learning that's going on. So basically everyone in the community contributes and we all learn from each other. We kind of also imitate each other. So monkey sees, monkey does, and help each other to transition to like more fundamental well-being. And I think that's also one of the reasons why we do this event where we all meet up. It's just this group dynamic and group learning, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always a very gratifying and yeah, it gives me a lot of security if something that other people describe how it happens to them fits exactly what, or closely what happens to me. You know, for example, people tends to experience that after they're transitioning step by step, the mental level is getting weaker, emotional level is getting weaker, and the sensory signals are getting more to the focus, yeah, of what do you really feel with your body and physical stuff and so on. And this I heard recently Sanjay say that, and it fits exactly with what's happening with me. Now you two are I would say very professional in mapping out how things happen. Maybe from a quite different perspective also. So you, Erik, have been breaking through various levels and are now one of these late location finders. And Rike is, I think, very well educated and trained, if you wish, in this layer and location mastery and in finding out where are people, which is for me at the moment, because I feel very, very good, but I have no idea where I am. Yeah, and it doesn't feel like a particular problem at the moment for me. But then this conversation is very helpful to ease my process if I have more orientation and so on and so. Yeah, but I mean, you're both working on the matrix in a certain way, on the map, so to speak.
Yeah, so I always say like 99% of enlightenment is just relax, and having a map also helps with relaxation. So okay, I'm probably over there, and it's okay, and it might go over there, and all this. If you don't take it too strictly and too seriously, I have to like this little detail here and there. But just knowing where you are, that also helps with relaxation and might help with the process.
Yeah, I totally agree. To give you some background, I started the 45 days program in 2021, and I was one of those people who didn't reach fundamental well-being in the first round, but I failed. If no, anyway, but I absolutely saw how great this work is that Jeffrey and his team did, and so I started another round, and with the help of Sanjay and some other fellow finders, I finally transitioned. Hooray, hooray! And it's just making such a big difference. And I also had the opportunity to go to the retreat that was offered by Jeffrey and Annemiek and Sanjay, and there were also other people from the inner team, inner circle. That was in 2022. It was amazing to really be live. And not on screen with others, and especially with a core team, with the scientific head of it. And during that retreat, Jeffrey already announced that he wanted to establish some sort of training program. So as soon as that started, I said, oh, I really want to be part of that. I want to learn as much as I can. And since then, I really I took, I don't know if all, but I think the most opportunities there were. All the different programs that came out since then, I participated. And I think it's not only one awakening that we talk about, but it's really it's a lifelong transitioning. And I don't know how many hits I had since my awakening. um, uh, and so there was this program, Layers and Locations Mastery, where we learned all the different parts of the matrix and how to operate it, and how to use that knowledge. And at the same time, also the Mentors and Partners program started, and we were trained by Jeffrey how to conduct interviews, so that we can talk to people after they finish their 45 days program, and give them the opportunity to talk about their experiences that are unique in a way, but also universal within that realm of the matrix. And many people find it extremely valuable because it's so new to a lot of them, and it's very difficult to have the reflexivity and really trust that process and believe, oh yeah, I made it. And the reason why it's one of the reasons why it's so important is when you still doubt your transition. That's a really strong pull of the mind, and you're busy with your concerns. And once that is covered and you trust it and you allow yourself, yeah, I'm transitioned, and I kind of got it now, then it's such a relief, and it's so helpful for people to get that feedback.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
again, a relaxation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and what I found very relaxing from the messages I got from you, Rika, and you were also mentoring me a bit and stuff, is that you are basically saying that the shallow locations are not a step back, a setback, a problem, but they are very
Not at
valuable.
all.
I mean,
Not
we
at
all
all.
had that discussion about, when you're getting sick, for example, then sometimes you're not in the most jubilant mood, or so maybe. But you say, well, that's no problem. That's just a reaction of your system to deal with that sickness, and it's actually a healthy thing to happen.
Yeah, uh, as we said earlier, it's incredible how fast this development was in the past months into deeper areas of the matrix. But what I really love about the expression, seeing that as a map, is without any judgment, and that's so important to not say, oh, the deeper the better. It's really it. The whole area is without judgment. I mean, people have tears in their eyes when they see, oh, I'm in location 1. It's amazing, right? And uh, and that has so much power and impact on personal lives. And also moving around the matrix, it's not one directional. It's fluidity is including the whole matrix. So it's really like using a map as orientation.
Mhm. And I mean, the meditation you will offer at the Sinking In Festival will be basically a 3-part a course, if you will, exploring the matrix. And I like this playfulness that's also in that, exploring it, not as a terrible, dreadsome task, but really surfing through it and so on. And you, Erik, are also an explorer of the matrix in that sense, that you worked together with Luciano, Mello, and Russell in basically expanding the map to locations further out. And we met the first time in January when we had that retreat of the German finders group at the castle. And the connection with you, Erik, was for me having the effect of kicking the goalpost, or of what is possible, really out of sight. And that was also very liberating, just to see, oh my God, there is no limit. And that was a very nice and empowering experience for me.
I'm happy to hear that.
So are you still working on these maps, or currently?
Yeah, so basically, of course, there is a group of like late location explorers, and we yeah, mapping out or coming up with different kinds of maps. So yeah, I'm not sure that we can like continue that kind of matrix that Jeffrey started into like the later realms, or they're just different ways to see things, and it gets kind of like, yeah, mixed up and not as sharply defined maybe in later stages. But yeah, things of course are going on. So also even if there's no seeking, there's still learning and there's still development going on. And yeah, we all are just continuing to learn.
Right. Yeah. So we will put a link to the museum where Rike is working on the paintings in the video description, so just the people get some impression
Oh,
of that.
fantastic.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think I
come
just
to
thought it
Munich.
would
Let
be.
me know when you visit.
Yes. And yeah, we will see at the Thinking In Festival. As I said, Rike will offer this Exploring the Matrix sessions, which I'm very much looking forward to have some more, you know, like that pinpoint at the navigation system. Where am I at the moment? Which at the moment for me is I'm so much in the spaciousness that it's not so easy to to find a pinpoint. And Erik, you will guide us along with tree spirits.
Yeah, right. So yeah, for me, I feel very connected to like the trees and walking in the woods and everything. I think probably everyone knows that soothing, calming feeling that you get from walking in the between trees and in the woods. And yeah, and I also have been doing like a lot of shamanic work and stuff like that. And so I have my little method where I try to channel that soothing feeling from like a walk in the woods in hands-on energy sessions, one-on-one. And yeah, and I will also be offering a fun meditation where we travel through the trees up to our higher self and yeah, reflect a little bit on ourselves that way.
Yeah, I'm particularly looking forward to that because, you know, with trees, I have such an intimate connection, and I planted so many trees. And I think what the paintings maybe have been for Rike, the trees have been for me, you know, just like how to say, a manifestation of beauty and aliveness and spirit. And you immerse yourself into this field, and it has a very good experience effect, and a very liberating and also relaxing effect, obviously, when it comes to nature. So that's it for today, for this video. The Thinking In Festival will take place from July 10th to 14th. Thinking in .de, DE for Deutschland. And so then we will meet all there in the middle of Germany in a forest. There's also a lot of paintings actually in the castle, by the way, because my great-grand-uncle Gustav, he has been a painter of the Munich Academy. You know, he was studying at the Akademie der Künste and so on. And so there's a number of nice paintings in the castle too. I hope they will also find your appreciation from a, you know, a professional point of view. Okay, so have a beautiful Sunday and see you soon at the Thinking In Festival.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon.
Stoppen.